Hey, let's get into it today. This Idaho 4 case is getting more and more interesting and more suspicious. Suspicious to the point where I'm starting to feel like there's an innocent man sitting in prison right now. Or should I say sitting in the Latah County Jail. Now let's get into it, guys.
Like a wake-up call in my head. Holy crap, dude. Like, we all knew this before the rest of the world basically did. Like, how? And why? And I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
How does one individual kill 4 people at night and not wake up the other 2 roommates?
Our investigation will continue to look at all avenues of that investigation. I cannot disclose any of that information. I don't even know that information at this point in time, and that's why we're continuing to investigate.
Were the roommates home at the time of the attack?
There was other people home at that time, but we're not just focusing just on them, we're focusing on everybody that may be coming and going from that residence.
So since they were home, was it a hostage situation?
No, it was not.
Question. Have you been trying to grow on YouTube, but you're frustrated because you're just not getting the views? It feels like the
what happened, and she told me that 4 students were stabbed and then had died, and that she and I said, well, how do you know that? She said her sorority sister, who is a nursing student and attends school in Spokane, often when she's in town will stay at with my daughter and her roommate because they're all friends. They're the same. It's called the PC Club. They all graduated together. They're PCs. I think they're PC 19. So so her sorority sister called and told her, and the reason and I said, well, why did she know? And she said because of her boyfriend, Mom. He goes to UI, and so she's friends with the Pied Pies because he goes there. And I said, but how do the Pied Pies know? How did you know at 10 o'clock and we don't know until now? She goes, I don't know that. And I said, but why do you know now? Why did you know at 10? And it's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and we don't know. And you know everything that happened, but the news doesn't say that. Because at the same time, I'm going through my phone looking for any information I can find. And there's just no information. And so then I said, what happened? And she told me that, what she said to me was that there were 4 kids were killed, and they were stabbed, and that there were 2 roommates there who locked themselves in their bedrooms because they were scared. They heard a lot of noise, but it's a party house, so maybe they didn't know what was happening. And I said, hold on a minute. I said, did they call 911? She goes, I don't know. But that is what I was told. That is what and I did correct it with the FBI as soon as I learned that this is not working, it's not right. A lot of kids were there early in the morning. They were there early in the morning. 8 o'clock. That's what she said. It seems like I think the sorority sisters might have stayed at my daughter's house or not. But knew at 8:30, and there was a narrative discovered and built, and 2 people who were really important to the case I don't think they did it. I think they thought it was a shakedown. I do not think any student did it.
Right.
But I think that they all know.
Nobody told you that, right? That's something that when it comes to the shakedown stuff.
Well, I know
that's not something that your daughter.
Well,
she thought it was a
no,
shakedown.
that I was told. No, I was told that.
You were told what? How? When were you told that?
They were in the drug house that they were there, the creeper was there, and there were people there.
Okay, hold on. Who told you this? And when was this told?
My child told me that. This was in the beginning. That
She was told by the student from University of Idaho?
The students go off from the University of Idaho.
Okay. Where did she get that information from?
My daughter told me that she got it from the high five.
Oh, she got it from the sorority.
Yeah, she got it from the sorority. That's what she told me. At the time.
You wake up in the morning on November 13th. Can you just describe your day?
So I don't remember like exactly when I woke up. I just remember like waking up and opening up my Snapchat, and there were dozens of Snapchat messages in all the group chats. And I just remember like, this is kind of whack. And then like I got up and I was like getting ready for work, and then like when I kind of like woken up a little bit more, I started to go through them because I did not want to have to read a lot of shit early in the morning. And then I ended up like I was just sitting there scrolling through it, and then I opened up the messages, and then there it was like, holy shit, did you guys hear about what happened, like blah 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 blah, and I'm scrolling up, and there's just, lines and lines and lines of text, everyone's talking about it, everyone's awake, and this is before 9:30 on a Sunday,
Okay, before 9:30 in the morning, the day those 4 innocent souls were killed. Dylan and Bethany supposedly locked themselves in their rooms. This is starting to line up with what the witness came forward in the last video, where she saw Dylan on the back patio with 4 other people smoking a joint at 8:30 in the morning. So, hear me out, folks. Dylan knows more than what she is saying. And I'm starting to believe that the PCA is a piece of shit paper. BK, Brian Koberger, could possibly be innocent. Why would the sorority know before anybody else? And why didn't they call 911 at 8:30 in the morning or 10 in the morning? Why did they wait until noon? Something fishy is going on here with the sorority, with Dylan, with Bethany. Maybe that's why Ann Taylor is wanting Bethany to testify on Brian's behalf, because Bethany knows Brian didn't fucking do this shit.
I remember that because I had to go to work, and I ended up not going because I wanted to be with my brothers, right? Kind of obvious. But yeah, and I don't remember what the exact time I woke up, but I remember, like, yeah, we were all talking about it, we all knew about it, and like my boss and my coworkers were texting me later, asking me like if everything was okay, and they had even heard about things. They heard like it was a shooting and stuff like that. So, and yeah, it was kind of weird because like at the beginning, everyone said like at the beginning, like the very first messages where people were talking about the stabbings, or like a stabbing had occurred, and then it changed to an OD, and it was just kind of weird. Like looking back on it, it changed to an OD so quickly, and like nobody questioned it. And like we didn't question it either because we knew there were drugs in that house, and like just genuinely thought like, okay, they got a bad match, and that's just what happened, right? Because you see it on the news, it happens in bigger cities.
So you said you had to go to work, and you said you had to be to work at 9:30, so this would have happened before, like you got to work.
Yeah, no, this was definitely and it was like I don't know, 5-10 minute drive to work, and like I had to like get ready too. So you're talking like a little before 9 o'clock in the morning at least.
Hi, Heather Roberts with ABC News. Just to follow up on what she asked, so the other two roommates were there at the time of the attack?
All the information we have from our investigation is that yes, they were.
Okay, but they were unhurt.
That's correct.
So is there any explanation as to why it took so long then for someone to call 911? You have surviving witnesses to an incident at 3 or 4 in the morning, and the 911 call didn't come until noon?
I don't think I ever said that they were witnesses. I said they were there. So, you know, we don't know why that call came in at noon and not in the middle of the night. Would have we loved for that to have happened? Yes, but that's not how it took place. So that's why we're investigating everything still to try to pull all the pieces together.
We're like, okay, it's an accident. Let's not panic, you know. And I remember texting Kaylee. See if she was okay. She obviously didn't ever respond. It was in the morning.
So creators ask me all the time what tool I use to run my sponsorship coaching business, and it's Circle. It's the central hub.
Moscow PD investigating a homicide on King Road near campus.
Somebody had done something really bad. He said, I think Ethan's dead. And then we walked out into the courtyard, and somebody said that Santa was dead.
My niece said something bad has happened to Kaylee. So then I started calling Maddie.
At this point, we didn't have any answers, and we didn't know anything.
Sunday around
we're watching football,
one-ish, and we were
like
watching
every
football.
family, or a lot of families on Sunday.
And her son was here. Everybody was home except for she was down at her home.
We gather.
And my niece called me, and she was freaking out. And she said, "Christy, have you talked to Kaylee?" And I said, "Yesterday, you know, like last night." And she said, "Something bad happened." She was just bawling. And I said, "Well, what do you mean? What do you mean?" And she said, "I think Kaylee's dead." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And she
all
said,
our stomachs just dropped.
She said there was somebody just called me and they live down there. She said there was a party last night. And Kaylee, somebody went in a shop party and Kaylee was shot. I was like, what? And I just threw my phone. I started screaming. I started telling everybody to call Olivia and to get all her roommates on the phone. And I started calling Maddie, and Maddie wouldn't answer, and Maddie wouldn't answer. I said, no, this can't be, because Maddie would have called me. If Kaylee was shot last night at a party, Maddie or Jack would have called me. Like, no, and I kept calling. I called Kaylee and it went straight to voicemail. I was calling Maddie, I was calling Jack, it was ringing. I turned on the TV and I saw it said 1122 Road. Like, Kaylee's car was in the driveway, Maddie's car was in the driveway, but it was saying an unconscious person. And we're saying, okay, maybe this isn't, like, maybe something happened. So Steve starts calling the police. Steve and our son started calling the hospital, and he started calling the PD and saying, my Gonzalez, and we heard that my daughter Kaylee Gonzalez was killed in an accident. And they said, oh, we can't give you any information, we'll call you back. Well, next thing you know, some more phones started ringing out. Daughters that came running down, 16 and 17 years old, came and said, Mom, somebody just called me and said that Kaylee's dead. And we're like, what? Like, who was it? She's like, I don't know, it's somebody that said that they're there and Kaylee's dead. And we were like, oh my God, like, this can't be, and it's just very, very, very traumatic. Yeah.
Why wouldn't the police let them know that Kaylee was dead? Why did the police give them the brush off? That's what I'm trying to comprehend. What Kaylee's mom just said. Steve called the PD. PD gave him the brush off. Oh, we can't give you information, but we'll call you back. What the fuck is going on in Moscow, Idaho?
Protocols of somebody showing up at your door 10 hours later is ridiculous.
Because we had hours of panic. We were sheriff department.
Terrible.
It was about 4:30.
So you guys, they never called you. You guys found this out from family members that were in the area, and you guys didn't get notified. You actually reached out to them, and you guys still didn't get notified for hours.
Calling them twice.
I get it. Their protocols are all about, maybe they'll commit suicide or something. But they have to be updated because social media moves so fast.
11:58 a.m. This phone call goes out to the police, and I'm like, hey Dave, you told me that you knew about this like at like 9. But let's say like that I would have come back like months ago when this originally happened. Let's say that I was like your family member, and you're telling me about this, and I would have been like, Dave, wait, you told me that you knew about this like at 9:30 in the morning. Well, 911 wasn't called until like 11:58 a.m. Like, do you think that that's weird? You get what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? It's like
2.5 hours.
We don't know, and we never really, we didn't, a lot of us kind of, unplugged ourselves from the case and all the news and everything, because just we live in it so much. You see us as reporters just going to class each day. You don't want to walk out of your freaking house, you know? But we just kind of stayed unplugged to where we didn't really even think about it or connect the dots, and that's why when I heard Kim's thing, when she said that, and literally, when she was talking about how she, yelled at her daughter like that, it literally made me think about, my mom doing that to me. That's what it felt like, was she was my mom saying that same shit to me. How the hell did you know? And it just, it literally, just blew my mind. How did we know? How did I not think of that? Wait, what? And it just made me have so many other questions, holy shit, she's right. And not even to mention that, how the hell did her daughter know? Her daughter goes to WSU. We have, way closer, I can go through, on my phone, one person or two people in that house. Right? In that sorority. I've got girls on my phone that are in the sorority. I've got people I know other people in that sorority. Upper and lower classmen. How did that girl find out? And it just, yeah,
depending on who people are friends with and stuff like that.
Right, but even then, that quickly, you're gonna go to your inner circles first, right? That's why I was talking to the one kid, because his girlfriend was freaking out, and so he was having to be there for her without, being able to go to the sorority. So he's texting her and letting her log all this steam and telling me what she's telling him to amidst the other information that we're receiving. And, yeah, it just, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think we just have a really good way of being young and dumb and staying distracted with school and partying and everything else, and not a lot of people question things. Maybe it's just a kid thing, I don't know, but we just...
No, I get that. Unless you have personal knowledge, but for 911 not to be called for 2.5 hours, let's just say, but everybody else is messaging each other, that would mean that somebody had to message to get this thing going. It had to be from the inner circle of whoever was in that house to have possibly told everybody to get that going. You get what I'm trying to say?
100%.
Yeah.
100%, I agree. And that's where, I'm asking the same questions, is, what did those girls do? But, what did they do? How did we all know before the cops even got freaking called? I just didn't think, connect the dot, it didn't, I don't know, man. I mean...
We don't know why that call came in at noon and not in the middle of the night. Would we love for that to have happened? Yes, but that's not how it took place.
She obviously didn't ever respond. It was in the morning.
Investigators are trying to ascertain why there was a delay and what actually occurred, what was heard. That's a question that's still out there.
Okay. That right there. Any person who fails to notify the coroner or law enforcement shall be guilty of a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in prison and a fine of up to $1,000. Why didn't Dylan or Bethany call 911 before noon? Why did they wait and wait and wait? They heard shit going on in the house at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. They could have got on their fucking cell phones and called 911 and not lock themselves in their rooms and like Dylan, oh, I was in a frozen shock phase. Bull fucking shit, you were. If you saw somebody walking through the fucking house right after the murders, you should have got on your fucking cell phone and called 911 instead of going back in your room and locking the door, going back to sleep, getting up about 8:30 in the morning, going out back, lighting up a joint with this Emma person and her three male friends, and then let everyone in the sororities know what's going on at the house, and then waiting until noon to fucking call the 911. What I think happened was just like what was stated in the last video. There was drugs in the house, and technically Kaylee was not living in the house at the time. She was just staying the night with her friend Maddie before she left for Texas. Quite possibly, whoever's doing the drugs or supplying the drugs to the house got pissed off that Kaylee was leaving. And Bethany or Dylan could have told, hey, Kaylee's going to be here this weekend. I'm really starting to think that this whole thing is a cover-up because they knew that fucking house was a drug house. The cops knew it. Everyone in that fucking town knew that that house was a party house / drug house. I honestly don't think that Brian Kohberger did it. He was a heroin addict at the time. And the only reason why his freaking cell phone pinged at that house so much, he came to buy drugs. And probably he was coming by that Sunday morning about 9:30 to buy drugs. Dylan needs to come forward and stop fucking lying and stop covering shit up in this case. Because the PCA is a piece of shit paper that's more than likely a lie. Right there. The cops noticed there was a delay. Why wasn't Bethany and Dylan charged with the misdemeanor? Why all of a sudden after the fucking murders did both of them flee the state of Idaho? Dylan to Nevada, Bethany to Nevada, and God knows where Dylan went. As soon as right after the murders happened, they packed up and they moved. And Bethany is fighting that subpoena to testify for Brian Kohberger because she does not want to come back to the state of Idaho because she thinks she has a warrant for not calling the cops in time. And God knows where Dylan is. These two know more than what they're telling. These two know more than what is going on in the media right now. Bethany and Dylan know more, and they're covering it up. And they're helping the police in Moscow, Idaho, cover shit up. Why do you think Brian Koberg does not have a court date yet? His court date is not till summer of this year. They didn't have a court date for him, but they had a demolition date for the house. Shit's not adding up. Y'all please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll keep digging to the bottom of this Moscow, Idaho case. Y'all have a good Sunday afternoon. Remember, hit that bell notification for any new uploads. Everyone stay safe out there, and peace.